Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, February 21st, 2022. That's a lot of twos. So tomorrow will be 2/22/22. Oh boy. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm still having a little bit of coughing, let's say, hanging on from what I'll say was COVID. I don't know for sure. I never got tested, but all the symptoms said it was, that sort of thing. I had posted a video today on Patreon about some stuff going on. And I also mentioned about my wife was doing better. Well, she was. Now she's not. I mean, she's still fine, but she is not recovering, let's say, as well as I am. So today, she has been, last night and today, she's been having fevers and, chills and whatever. And she has lost her sense of smell and taste, which she had lost that before last year whenever she had it. And she actually got tested and both tests came back negative, but she had all the symptoms last year. So as it stands, she was asking me to go to the store and get her some cut up watermelon, cucumbers, and just, stuff, crunchy type of stuff. And I got her that stuff and she's like, I can't taste any of it. So that's where she's at right now. Hopefully, she'll progress through it and be done with it. But she went for a period of time last year without any smell or taste. Thankfully, I haven't had that response, so I'm doing okay. But if you're new to the live stream, generally we talk about cars. Sometimes we talk about movies. Sometimes we talk about food. Sometimes we talk about random stuff. But that's okay. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're participating. So if we have somebody that new here that wants to ask a question about their classic car or even modern cars, we'll try to answer those questions as well. If I can answer it, I will. If I can't, there's usually a good group over there in the chat box who do a fine job of answering these questions. And you get a bell, get a little reward system I have going to where you get a little gratification for answering the question. But hopefully my voice holds up tonight. We'll see how this goes. And I want to, again, thank you all for being here. So first in was Terry Keithley. And evening all, please hit the thumbs up and like button for Barry. Thank you all. Yes, Terry. Thank you, Terry. Greg's Workshop checking in early. And it says, hi, Barry, that is a very nice car. Probably talking about the thumbnail, which was the 70 Mustang that we did at the body shop several years ago. There's a few videos of that car on the channel. So welcome. Thank you, Greg, and welcome. Rick, I have to go out for a while, so I won't be around for the beginning of the show. Just wanted to say hello to everybody. Okay. And also, don't forget to hit the like and thumbs up button. Yes, thank you, Rick. Sammy Lisa Smith. Hello, friends. Hope your day is going well. Well, it's a decent day, other than it's just raining. Temperatures are up, a little. In fact, I know that I've been, we always track the weather, right? So today, the high temperature was 60, which isn't bad. Currently, it's 54. And they're calling for rain all the way till 3 a.m. And then tomorrow, it's supposed to hit 76 degrees. That's pretty warm. With a low of 54, and then 73 on Wednesday with a 50% chance of rain. And Thursday, another high of 78. So, yeah, we are starting to get some of these warmer temperatures. But, of course, it says next Monday we'll be at 45. So it's all over the place. But, yeah. Thank you, Samuel Lisa Smith, for being here. Robert, evening all. 80s here and have the shop doors open. Okay. Yeah, I was just watching, I watched a video earlier today of Robert with his Mustang upside down. I was jealous. Had it on his rotisserie he made. And I was like, oh, man, that would be so nice to be able to spin that thing around. And I've said it before, I missed out on an opportunity to get a rotisserie with a Mustang attached to it. Mainly because I didn't know it was for sale. Even though I'd seen the car many times, I did not know it was for sale, so I missed it completely. Rick Stevenson, hello everyone. Glad you're here, Rick. Ray Buckman, hello everyone. Great photo today. One of my favorite colors in the 69 to 70 Mustangs. Yes, that is grabber blue. One of my favorite colors, period. I like it on a lot of things. Roger checking in. Greetings from a rainy next door. Yeah, it is definitely rainy day. Nandu, good evening everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. We did. I'll say this. We celebrated our oldest child, our oldest son, turned 30 yesterday. So it's hard to say that, I think. My oldest child is 30. Not really. I mean, it's just, we all have these thoughts and stuff like, oh man, somebody's getting old. Oh, wait, it's me. So yeah, oldest son turned 30 yesterday. So we had a good celebration with him. Boogie Bum, evening everyone from Nashville. Glad you're here. I missed out on a chance, Boogie Bum, to go to Nashville last weekend before, whichever it was. I think it was last weekend. Of course, I was sick anyway, so it didn't matter. But a friend of mine was up there for, I guess, the trade show, big trade show. He's a spokesperson for Woodhaven Calls, but he went up there for that. But I also had another friend. It was, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago now. Maybe it's maybe it was 2 weeks ago, who was up there for the Mac Tools show. And, in the past, we've been able to go with them. Like, we went to Colorado a couple years ago to the Mac Tools show. And this year, his wife was unable to go, so we decided to cancel as a couple, event. And so we stayed home, which worked out because I was already coming down with, the sickness. So one day I'll make it back up there. Jack W. Hi, Barry. Hi, Jack. Her Scrambler. Good evening. Go Freedom Truckers. Yes. Go Freedom Truckers. Yes. I'll say it too. You're darn right. Crash Rider from Southern Indiana. Greetings to everyone. Be sure to show your support by hitting the thumbs up button. Yes. Thank you, Crash Rider. Boogie Bum. Prayers for you and your wife for speedy recovery. Thank you. Homemade chicken noodle soup, the best. Yeah, it is. Somebody would have to make it, though. I can't make... I probably could, but no. I can make, scrambled eggs. I can make chicken, scrambled eggs. I can start with the beginning of a chicken. And I've done chicken in a pressure cooker and stuff like that. And I can grill chicken, but I've not made homemade chicken noodle soup. However, we have been eating Campbell's chicken noodle soup, it's the old standby, right? That's what everybody grew up eating. So we have been doing that. But thank you, Her Scrambler. Robert, I have been told I have a smell and no taste. Well, they're probably right. They're probably right. Let's see. Steve, Barry, where's your hard hat and vest? How about stuffed peppers tonight? Ooh, stuffed peppers. Yes. Yeah. Good stuff. I can eat a lot of stuffed peppers. Yes. And Robert says Crash Letter says that's what Joe Daddy said. Yeah, okay. Ralph Burrows, hello Barry, love your channel. I know enough to get myself in trouble. So thanks for the education on restoration. Hope you're feeling better from the crud. Yes. Welcome, Ralph. I don't think I've seen you here before, or at least I've not seen you on the live stream. So you get a Ralph bell, because I don't think we had any Ralphs before. That's a fun word, a fun name to say, right? Ralph. From, what was it? The Muppets? Wasn't there a Ralph on the Muppets? I think there was. Jeff Reynolds, dear Barry and Mrs., I've just unexpectedly joined at 2 o'clock midnight here in the UK. Well, I'm glad you're here, Jeff. I am glad you're here. That's awesome. Terry, Barry, we just finished having homemade goulash. Yum, yum. Oh, okay. That would be, I would definitely enjoy some of that. Robert, well, it's right here if you want to see it live. Oh, you're talking about the rotisserie? Well, you can join me. I mean, you can definitely join me if you want. I'd be happy to have you on here. and then you can showcase your rotisserie. Sorry. Still some stuff hanging on. Jerry checking in from the Money Pit, Middle Tennessee. Glad you're here. Steve's Money Pit. Wait till oldest tells you on his birthday he's only 4 away from 50. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny. I'm the youngest of the 4 siblings in my family. So, you know, my mom would always say, "You're the baby," you know, whatever. Well, mid-50s, I'm still the baby, I guess. Jeff, Dewberry and Mrs., me and my midwife, Mrs., wish you and yours all the best with your present, I guess, COVID-19 experiences. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, it's, I had a few rough days. I did. Fatigue, headaches, you know, just really couldn't do much of anything. And she was doing better. And then it's not done with her yet, I guess. I was actually able to go and do some exercise yesterday, which was a good thing. You know, I don't do a lot, but not anymore. But I do like to get out and, get some exercise. Dave Conville, hello, Barry. Know any secrets to popping Model A door hinge pins? Tried lots of heat, broke some tools, broke some pins. Any secrets? I took the door hinge pins off of my Model A, and I want to say I had a tool, but I can't say the tool worked properly. I think I had a tool, though, that was like a bracket-looking clamp thing with a threaded push pin that I could put pressure on to get it out. However, I don't know that it actually worked. If you're already using heat and you broke some tools, man, the only thing I could say other than that, okay, you bought the tool. Yeah, he says he bought the tool. Yeah. The tool did not work for me, if I remember correctly. The only alternative, drill. Just drill it out. You're going to replace it anyway. Get a drill bit in there. Start small. Drill through the center. Weaken it up. Keep drilling till you get it out. That's all I can say. Let's see. Lawrence, where can I send you pics of my 66 Mustang Coupe project? Well, you can email them to me. Here's my emails at the bottom of the screen. joedaddysgarage@gmail.com. So if you want to send me, a picture, you can do it there, and then I'll put it up on the screen if you like. And if anybody would like to join me in this broadcast, Robert included, I can't smell him from here, so it's okay. Then, send me an email, and I'll send you an invite, and then you can join us. So, there you go. Yeah, Dave, thanks for breaking out the drill. Yep, that's really all you can do. When all else fails, drill, baby, drill, right? Ralph, thanks from Powhatan, Virginia. Just got my second 65 fastback, and I'm 65. Need a lot of TLC going back with silver blue Y code, and yes, first live chat. Okay. Silver blue, yep. That's the color that the convertible was supposed to be. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was actually the Y, I guess it was the Y code, but that's the color it was supposed to be. Yeah. So I'm glad you're here. The car on the lift is still here, and it's not supposed to be. I've tried to communicate with the owner again. Supposedly he's trying to find somebody else to build the car because he didn't want to work with the guy that I found, and now it's more in my way than ever. Just put it that way. So now the rent's due. Storage fees are due. Yep. As of November, I said, okay, here's your storage fees for November, December, January, and every month it's going to go up until he gets the car out of here. So Anyway, let's see. Jeff Reynolds. Barry, I loved your intro earlier. We usually talk about cars, but it can sometimes be something else like films. Yeah. Or food. It can be a variety of things. We're not totally wrapped into just, being on one thing. Okay. So I got Robert's email. He sent me an invite, or sent me a link so I can send him an invite if he likes. Let's see. Nandu, Barry, how is the evolution saw working out so far? That thing, I did a video on this. This company contacted me, Evolution Power Tools. They contacted me through Instagram. It seems like most of my tool things, they contact me through Instagram. So I did the Hulkman jump starter thing, last year. I've done the Yes Welder stuff, which I'll say this, they're offering me another welder. They're offering me another welder combo thing. And I'm like, I don't know if I want it or not. But anyway. And then, of course, the one I did recently, the Loki Thor jump starter thing with the air compressor thing, which that came in real handy this past weekend. We actually used it to charge up one of my son's, let's say, RC things. But now, this Evolution saw, when they contacted me, they were asked if I was interested in the saw, and I said yes. And then I looked at their website, and I saw they had a stand for it, and it's a universal stand. It'll hold any kind of saw, but it's their brand, right? And I said, oh, I see you have one of these stands too, and they're like, I'll send you one of those too. Deal. So today, I unboxed everything. I did demonstrations on it. I cut some material with it. It does what it's supposed to do. It is heavy duty. Like, I have underneath the welder over there, I have the old chop saw. Now that chop saw has been here, gosh, probably at least 25 years, maybe longer. I don't even know I think that saw showed up before this shop was built. And we built this in 96. So that other chop saw, it has the big, the grab handle that sticks out at you, and you have to squeeze it and pull up, and it's got the little trigger. And this thing has a nice, the more flat style handle. And it's got some really nice features to it. So I will be using that a lot more. And the only drawback that I have is it takes up space. That's the thing. It's big and it's heavy and it takes up space. So the stand, you can probably see the legs do fold up. You can tuck it away, but it's a heavy piece of equipment. Altogether, I don't know what the whole thing weighs, but it's probably, with the table and everything, over 50 pounds, I'm guessing. So it may be, it may end up getting shoved over in that space over there, just to store it. But I'm looking forward to using that thing. It is really, really an improvement over the old saw that I had. Let's see. Steve's Money Pit. Park it by the street. It will be gone by morning. Yeah. I have no obligation. I really don't. Jeff, you know what I'm talking about, but seeing as you're sick, I better go easy on you. Okay. That's okay. Dawn. Hello all from Soon to Be Frozen PDX. Sorry to hear about the BP Nemesis. Yeah, it's ongoing. It was supposed to be gone like mid-January. We're pushing towards the end of February now. So I'm ready to take it, get it outside, park it where I had the little Honda sitting right there in the gravel lot, and double it up with tarps. And it's out of my space because I have to get the Camaro in here. But I don't want to bring the Camaro in with that in here. Because when it's time for that to go, I can't be blocking it. It's really, really become cumbersome. So, Doyle, I have I've been doing my other hobby while I'm waiting on warmer weather, baking. Made a homemade pumpkin pie and apple pie this weekend. By the way, the wall looks good. Thank you. So, pumpkin pie and apple pie. Okay, those I'm good with both of those. I'm good with both of those. Yeah. Yeah. I'm good with that. Hooked on Classics. Simone. Hi, Barry in chat. Glad you're here, Simone. John Jude, perhaps a set of lockable wheels for that nice saw. Yeah, I thought about that. You know, the hold on just a second. The bottom of it has rounded legs that you can adjust the height as well. And I thought maybe I could make a tray for it. You know, maybe like a angle iron base and put wheels on it. I have thought about that. The thing is, like I said, the footprint of it, the table is bigger than the saw. So that's the only, you know, you have to give up that space around it. But a good idea, though. Thank you. Clark, but what movie would go with those pies? I don't know. It would probably have to be an American movie, I would guess. I would guess that's what you're inferring. I think that's what that movie was called, right? American Pie. This One Time at band camp. Oh, man. Terry, it's like a hemorrhoid or ex-wife. Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Because it doesn't do me any good to sit here. You know? He's, you know, I understand he's apprehensive about having somebody else work on it, but should have thought of that 2 years ago when he quit sending me parts. That put a real damper on everything. No parts, no work. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Okay, I'm going to send Robert an invite and see if he wants to join in, and we can look at his rotisserie. Ricky Lynn. Hello, Barry and all. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. Hope your husband's doing better. Let me just show you real quick. Just as an example. You know, this just a piece of exhaust pipe, basically 2.5 inch, that I cut today with that saw. Nice, clean, straight cut. And I just cut a really thin end off of it. The next thing I cut is a piece of 2-inch square tubing. Look at that nice edge. Nice. And this is all I cut off. Like an 1/8 inch piece of material. And it cut like butter. Like butter. So, really nice stuff. Now, of course, you do end up with a lot of debris. You know, unlike the old saw where you have the fibrous wheel that gets deteriorated as you cut it and throws dust in the air and causes cancer or whatever. This stuff, or this thing, you know, just little fine pieces of metal, which you have to get, it has to go somewhere. Something has to be, and either if you used an abrasive saw or not, you're still going to have residue and stuff like that. So, I see you, Robert. We'll get you in a second. But anyway, it cut super nice. And Barry have had both, LOL. Okay. I understand, Terry. I understand. Doyle, can't you set the portable outside target, or would it be liable for damage? You know, I don't know, because I haven't. I mean, I honestly I have no commitment, as far as I'm concerned. No commitment. No commitment. I've done my part. He's dropped the ball over and over again. So. Cool store 187 behind Barry and all can listen but not watch. You have to move on. It's not your dream. It's his. You've got your own. Stay safe. Yes, I do. I do have my own dream, Right now, it's 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 just in my way. It needs to. And other thing I thought about doing was actually taking it to a storage facility. Somewhere local here. Find out what it's going to cost to be inside a storage building. Send him that information and say, this is where your car is. Start paying the bill or you're going to lose it. I don't know what else to do. Just tired of it. Ricky, thank you. And I lost my husband February 2nd, stage 4 pancreatic cancer, so have not been on here. Glad to be back. I'm sorry to hear that, Ricky. I really am. That's I mean, my heart goes out to you. We've all dealt with loss, and I'm sure I don't know how long you've been with your husband, but I'm sorry for your loss. Really am. But I'm glad you're here. X-Tune, 10th Mountain. Always glad I never got sent to drum. Too cold for me. X-Tune, you never got sent to drum. Neither did I. I was in 10th Mountain, 85 to 88, stationed at Fort Benning. Yeah. HHC 214. I was there when they activated in 85. So maybe you were there too. I don't know. If you didn't go to drum, maybe it sounds like you were in the same boat. Steve, owner breaches agreement, so he's not responsible. Yeah, okay, you're talking about me. Okay. John Jude, Black Bear Forge has one of that brand and loves it. Yeah, super job of cutting. Yes. Yeah, it's really cool. Ray, couldn't you file a lien on it? I probably could, honestly. I probably could. Probably could. Let's see what Robert's up to. Click.
I'm here.
There's Robert. You're a little more pale than I am.
Well,
that's the lighting.
It's the lighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got like 5 different colors of lights in here, so yeah, it looks goofy.
Oh, yeah, I see the plastic hanging overhead too.
Yeah, I've got plastic all the way up around, and I had to tie it all up because I had the doors open. It's been so windy, just blowing around because I'm getting ready to start blasting the bottom of it.
Okay.
So yeah, I figure you want to look at it. It's moving.
Yeah. Now tell everybody what the hub is.
That is a lawnmower jack shaft for riding mower. The jack shaft housing for running the blade.
Yeah. So it's a spindle blade or a blade spindle.
Yeah.
Yep. Look at all that effort he's putting in that. Look at it. Hear him groaning and straining. That's just terrible. That's pretty awesome.
And it flips around that easy.
It's still wanting to flip around.
Yeah,
now it's wanting to do it on its own.
Yeah, it's still a little heavy on the bottom. So if you don't get it just right,
Well, that's okay. You can put a tether on it, I'm sure, and that would be good enough.
Well, what I've been doing most of the time, I've got a spot in the back that I can put a pin in.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's a ride.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
But I'm just using one of these clamps, and I just put it into a spot where I want it,
and clamp it fast. Okay.
It. I put I've got a disc at the back, in a spot where I can put a pin in it, and it's just this works better. Move it, put a clamp on it. And a lot of times I don't even mess with the clamp. I just kind of hold it in place while I'm doing something. And so the other nice part is if you want to work on the inside, you just kind of get it on its side. You walk underneath it, and you can stand up with the car this way, and I'll be able to blast, the backside of the firewall and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it's simple, it's cheap, and it works.
Well, do you have a parts list? Do you have anything you've written up for what somebody would need if they wanted to slap one of these together?
2-inch square tubing, some plate steel, some threaded rod, and the jack shaft housings.
So what do you think you have invested in it?
Um, Actually, all the square tubing was leftovers
Right.
because you basically there's this. I can't do that. This plastic, that beam right there.
Yeah.
Originally, when we bought the house, this building was already here, there was a wall there. So there was a wall halfway in the building
Right.
with a door in it. It's like that just doesn't work. So I cut that out. And actually, all the square tubing that I used on this was left over from that.
How thick is
And
the wall on it?
it's 2 inch. Shoot, it's 2 inch. I mean, 2 inch square. It's like eighth inch wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably eighth inch wall. They wouldn't have put quarter inch up there or three
No,
sixteenths,
no,
so it's probably eighth.
no. Now you can't see it, but there's a square tube that's over the garage doors. That's all quarter-inch wall, square tube. Big. Yeah, and the posts that actually hold up the building are. I think they're okay. Normally you'd use drill pipe. Oil well drill pipe, which is 2 3/8, same size as fence post, but it's
Okay.
3/8 wall.
Yeah.
So it takes 2 men and a boy to move it because it's heavy.
Right.
But looks like they use just I think it's 2.5 inch pipe. So you have plates in the concrete. All the posts are 2.5 welded to that. Then you have a 2 inch square tube welded to that, and then the sheet metal screwed on top. But that's generally the way they build them here. That's
So
that's just
it's
the normal way of building them.
so it's not going anywhere.
No, no,
It might lose a skin, but the building's not going anywhere.
exactly. The frame is built like a tank, but it's just aluminum foil on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it was just leftover square tubing, and I bought some threaded rod. I bought some of the coupling nuts that I use for doing the legs to pull them together. And I initially was like, well, I need to do it so I can change the height of it. And I ended up just basically lifting up, lift it up just a little bit, and then that was enough. Because as soon as I moved the car up to get to its balance point, that moved the car up another 8 inches.
Right.
I was like, I'm done. I don't have to do anything else.
So what do you have? You have like a tether between the legs? Is that what you're talking
I've
about,
got,
or is it a rod?
well,
I didn't. I haven't. Okay, there you go.
yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but
I get it.
basically, this is just a bar here.
Right.
That's a coupling nut, a piece of pipe at that end, and it's just it's kind of a tie rod in a way. You turn the bolt down there, and it will turn into here and
Sure.
hold the whole thing up.
Okay.
That's it. It's simple.
Now, and you have the two ends strapped to each other at all, or no?
I've got.
I see something on that side.
Yeah, I've got a brace here, and then I've got a leg going all the way back.
Okay.
So I've got a 16-foot 2x4, connecting the two together, and then
Okay.
45-degree braces there.
Okay.
And
That works.
the 16-footers were ones that I bought a couple years ago. They've been actually there's a couple more of them up there. Actually, right there. And it's painful. I mean, it just my
It
brain
is.
is burning when I have
It's
to do
hard.
that.
It's hard, but you get used to it. You go like, oh, look, there's the Metallica poster. There's the flag. You just got me thinking there for a second. I'm always trying to recycle stuff. So one of the things I was talking to Roger about this last week. One of the things I want to do is protect my blueberry bushes. I have 2 blueberry bushes, and I built a plastic box out of half-inch PVC, and then I put netting over it. Well, believe it or not, just having that netting, the wind can blow that thing off. It'll catch that netting and blow it off.
Yeah, my
So-
parents have done the same thing with their tomato plant.
So this thing got tossed a couple times, and now it's broken. So I was like, the thing is, it was also height limited because I only had gone up like 5 feet or something. So the other day, I was looking at a leftover pieces from the trampoline my kids had. Because, the trampolines, they have a safety cage around them, right? So the base of the trampoline is long gone. But it had 3 loops okay, that were about 6 feet wide and
I
about 7 feet tall.
one of my initial ideas when I was thinking about building this was, the whole hoop thing.
Yeah,
And I looked as like, let me see if I can find on Craigslist, a
a
trampoline that's the
trampoline
right
hoop.
diameter, and I couldn't find one. I
No,
mean, it was just like,
they're too
I
big.
could take the pipes, weld them together,
Yeah, they're
and it
too
would
big.
work. But they were all either way too big or they were 4 feet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to do with the leftover,
Hmm.
supports, I have 3 of those. I want to put 3 of those over top of my blueberry bushes. Well, I've been brainstorming, coming up with what do I have? When
Hmm.
you talked about that 16-foot length of 2x4, I found the other day I was at the scrap metal place. I had taken that boat in and gotten it scrapped, right? And on the way back, I stopped at our local scrap metal place. I always want to check stuff out there. And I'm looking, and lo and behold, they had sticks of fencing posts or fencing railing,
Hmm.
like chain link.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how thick that stuff was.
Yeah. Some of it is really
And
thick.
they're like,
Yeah.
the lengths are like 20, 25 feet long. There were 2 of them that were straight. And I said, I can use those. And if nothing else, I can angle them and
Hmm.
put, you know, so that the top pieces don't want to flop over. Anyway, so we were troubleshooting all that stuff, me and Roger. But, you're talking about that length. And I was just thinking, one of those posts from a chain link fence,
Hmm.
you could incorporate that into. I mean, I know you have a 2x4 or whatever,
Hmm.
but I'm saying you could incorporate those
Yeah.
because they're so long,
Yeah.
and they're you can just trim them and make brackets that you could actually snap on.
Hmm.
You could even have like an angled hole
Yeah.
with the pipe having just a bolt going through it, just to keep it from
I
splaying apart.
when I was first building it, I had one square tubing piece that was long enough, and I really wanted that long piece to be the back brace,
Yeah,
and it just I just didn't have enough. I had enough cutting up for other pieces because I
right.
just didn't have enough.
Yeah,
Uh, so I would have preferred that,
sure.
but yeah.
Well, I mean, it just came to my mind. I'm like, oh, that thing is. I mean, they got to be at least 20 feet long, maybe even
Mhm.
maybe even 25 feet. They are very long pieces of pipe,
Yeah.
and so anyway, I got a couple of those from the scrap metal place, and I said, "What do I owe you?" And he's like, "Just bring me back some metal." I'm like, "Okay, I can do that." I've been going through my junk,
Hmm.
and get rid of some stuff. So let me give a shout out to
Yeah.
Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
But you talking about going to your scrap place. I've got to go to mine. It's a tiny little place. They don't really do steel. They do a little bit, but they do aluminum. All the good stuff. Okay. But what's cool is they buy pallets of stuff from Lockheed.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So they buy all this stuff from them, and I was in there one time and they had pallet boxes full of bolts that had the little JSF on it for the Joint Strike Fighter. Brand new bolts.
yeah.
And and I should have grabbed a handful of them. The guy said, "Yeah, just grab some." It's like, what am I going to do with it? But
Yeah,
yeah, I need to go back because he'll have buckets of drill bits.
yeah,
By buckets I mean big metal, the type, and they're just
yeah,
full.
yeah,
And like you drilled one hole with it type, so they're perfectly good.
yeah.
And the one that I really would have liked to have had was I went out there and there's right in front of me there's these nice sheets of metal, nice big sheets of metal. They were about, I want to say they were either 4x12 or 5x12. I can't remember. And I was looking, I was like, that's a nice looking piece of metal. It's like, that's not aluminum. And these things were almost quarter-inch thick. And he had 4 sheets. And I reached down and grabbed one to pick it up. It has titanium. Huge sheets of titanium.
Good
And
grief.
I asked him, I said, what would that cost? And he said, I don't know. I have to, weigh it and all that. But he said, yeah, it's not as much as you think it would be if you wanted to buy it. The problem
Right.
is, I can't work with it. I can't cut it. I can't drill it.
No, and no telling what the government paid for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but what he said, what was funny was he said, but on top of it was this nice shiny metal, and he said, yeah, the titanium's not worth much. The Inconel sitting on top is worth a lot more, and it wasn't that much Inconel. But you know how heavy that stuff is.
Yeah,
it's pricey stuff.
Yep.
And it's just that again. That's like, well, that'd be neat to have, but again, I can't work with it.
No.
No.
Nothing easy. Nope.
No.
Let me look at our chats over here on the side. We have Simone says hi, Robert. Ricky Lynn says welcome, Robert. And Simone says, wish I had a setup like that. Talking about your rotisserie. Roger, nice job, Robert. Ricky Lynn says, wow, that's so awesome. Yeah, it is. I agree. Richard, great job, Robert. Need to build one for the restoration of my K-Code coupe. That's a good idea. Ray, it's a really great design on the stand Robert built. Yep. Xtune says, agreed. Trailer trash. Any tips of fabricating body panels without a reference to compare? Both my front fenders have rot on my 56 Chevy 3100 and some stretching. You have nothing, no reference to, wait, let's see. Without a reference to compare. Both my front fenders have rot. The only thing I can tell you on that is a simple idea is the fender transitions to the door. And you know how that shape is. What you could do, depending on, I don't know how much of it's gone, but you could take a piece of cardboard, trace it to where it matches the shape of your door, and then bring that up to your fender. So that way you've got something to at least give you what the shape should look like to match your door shape. So that's one little idea. Otherwise, I would probably look at getting some patch pieces. You know, if you're trying to make something, that's one thing. But there's AMD, I think, probably has those parts. Goodmark probably has those parts. I don't know about NPD or any of those, but you may be further ahead to buy the patch pieces. I've done patch panels on Ford, the 49 F1 I did, and I showed a way to do that to make it work. I know it's a Chevy, a little bit different, but it's still metal. So, any other thoughts, Robert?
If you really want to look for a replacement panel, there is a place that's not too far from me. It's in Denton, Texas, at a drag strip. I don't remember the name. It's like CC Customs or CC Parts, or it's a drag strip, and they have a junkyard there. They have a lot, and they have a website with a lot. They have a lot of old cars there, and they have a lot of weird stuff, but they're very expensive. I will say that.
Okay.
And I've heard, and that is one place that, you know, as a last resort, it's something to check if you're looking for something weird, because they do have a lot of really weird stuff out there. And it's in Denton, Texas. So I mean, you can find you do a little searching on Google and you'll figure it out, where it is.
Well, I know
something to check.
I know I did that 55 Chevy at the shop years ago, and we used front fenders from Goodmark. Now, I had to customize those fenders, but it gave you the shape that you needed. I actually sliced those fenders to change the where they mounted.
Mm-hmm.
I did a bunch of custom work to them. However, if you got those, it may be beneficial, because then you could either use the fenders or cut off what you don't need and put it on there. So
yeah, it gives you a ballpark to start with. Oh, nice.
Gordon.
Wow.
Gordon. Awesome, man. That is very, very gracious of you. Awesome. Wow. Okay. Do I need to do a dance or anything? A little jig? Take off my hat? Show you my bald head? That's some back pay. Yeah, awesome.
Time for a haircut too.
Yeah, I'm always needing a haircut.
My head is too goofy looking for me to do that, and she would yell and scream at me if I did it. So,
yeah, I can't tell you honestly. If you were to look at like the back of my head and all the scars and lines and weird, but I don't care.
Well, and then the question is just like, what did I hit to do that?
Well, I know all the times I've hit my head and gotten stitches. So I'm pretty up to speed on that sort of thing. So thank you, Gordon. That's awesome, man. That is
Yeah, it
awesome.
is.
Thank you. Let me see what else we have here. Greg's Workshop. Hi, Barry. I got here. Glad you're here, Greg. Simone, if I built one of those, I would need to replace the bumper bar mounts first. They're a tad rusty and weak. Okay.
That
Yeah,
is that is the weakest point in lifting the car that worries me the most, to be honest.
Yep.
If that area is not really sound, do not mount it the way I did it. I mean, because even if it's sound, there's not a lot of support there.
There's not a lot of
There
support.
really isn't.
You almost need to have the aprons in place, all that stuff, connecting everything so that you can get it up in the air. So, as a repair process, I would probably do all the structural sheet metal first before I would even consider putting it on a rotisserie.
Yeah, and that's why that's what I did with mine, because I had to do all the metal I had to replace. I had so much to replace, and it's like, well, I got to get that done before I can move it and twist it and all that kind of fun stuff.
Well, I'm looking at what you're doing there, and I'm thinking, I'm going to be building that jig out of that trailer, and I was like, man, how could I incorporate the trailer into a rotisserie?
Put a cross beam and a support, and then and the other thing you can use is instead of using what I did, if you want something stronger for heavier, a hub, front wheel drive hub, like the GM ones or something like it, where you've got the 3-bolt flange, and then you've got the hub out here with the bolts. You've got mounting points on both ends.
That's really simple too.
And they're cheap. Buy them off eBay, buy an Amazon cheapie. Who cares? Or use
it doesn't matter. Yeah, yeah, because
I knew they're so cheap that
I've replaced plenty of those. So yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and that'll hold.
Because you add in the weight of that trailer. Now it gets really heavy. It would get really heavy. So anyway, let me see who else. Simone says hi, Greg. And Greg says, Barry, the shop is looking good. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. Ricky Lynn, I have 2 blueberry bushes also. I'm telling you, I love blueberries. These bushes, they're probably, 5 feet tall now. And producing, it's been really fantastic, especially when summer comes around and our grandson, who is now 2.5, going on 3, he gets out there and he's just like pulling these things off and eating them. So it's a lot of fun to have him involved with that.
I tell you, that reminds me when I grew up in Hawaii. We went to the other islands a lot, because we're there, and it was cheap to fly to the other islands at the time. We went, whatever year that it was 84, 83, that Mauna Loa started erupting again. Whatever year that was.
Okay.
Not Kilauea, but Mauna Loa. Because we went to both while we were there, and going up Mauna Loa, going up the trail, and you'd have little bushes growing, on the volcano, and there was a couple blackberry bushes growing, and so we're just reach down, grab one, and eating them. Is like, that spoiled me now. I won't eat them anymore because those tasted so good compared to any other blackberry that now it's just like, you can't buy, what you buy is not a blackberry. It's just not the same.
Not the same. Not the same.
And then all that stuff was gone the next day. Because as we were leaving, the volcano was starting to erupt again. So we were like the last ones to go in the visitor center and all that, because all that's there now is just the iron beams sticking up out of the lava from it. And it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Bet.
It was pretty good timing.
Yeah. I'm glad you made it out of there without having an issue. Charles, late again, but here. Wonderful weather in Pensacola. Glad you're here, Charles. Greg's Workshop. Hi, everyone. Okay, Ricky Lynn, the hillbilly in me recycles everything. Yep. I try to recycle whatever I can. That's for sure. Let's see. Oh, Terry Keithley says, Barry, how about LMC? Yeah, LMC truck may have those panels. They may. I'm not 100% sure, but very good suggestion. Check LMC. And Roger, AMD and Classic Industries both offer 56 truck repair panels. Others do too, but those came up first. So thank you, Roger. Yeah. I trust AMD.
Yeah. If you can get AMD, get AMD. It doesn't matter what the price is.
I had somebody, I was on Facebook earlier, there's whatever, it was wreck cars or something. And somebody had posted a wrecked, I think a Camaro, like a 68 or 69 Camaro. And the front end was smashed. And somebody commented, they said, Goodmark sells all the parts for this car. And I'm like, no. Don't go there.
Goodmark sells metal that you can hang on the wall to make it look like you have a car. You know, just decoration stuff.
Yeah. Don't do Goodmark.
But the sad part was, at one time they were making really good stuff, and I remember, you know, like for the El Camino, they bought GM's stamping. You know, they bought the stamps for the hoods, and they modified them to make it a cowl induction hood, and they used the factory stamps to do it. And it's like, after they did a batch of those, then they, you know, split up, and then the company just all changed.
I have a friend who is in personal contact with Mark, the guy that started Goodmark, who now has AMD. And what happened was, I probably talked about this before, Goodmark was growing, looking fantastic, doing good stuff, and the guy wanted to expand it. So he got, you know, board of directors, he got people involved and investors and blah, 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 blah. And these investors are like, you're doing a really good thing. You're doing a really good thing. But now it's time for you to go because we want to make some money.
Yep.
So they pushed him out of his own company. And he had a non-compete clause for 1 year. And so that's whenever Goodmark said, we're just going to sell crap because it's got a good name on it. Kind of like, you remember Tommy Boy, the movie Tommy Boy?
Yep.
And it had Callahan, right?
Yep.
And they said, we don't care what's in the box.
Yep.
Just so it says Callahan on the box. People are buying the name. They don't know what's inside. Same thing with Goodmark. Now, they just sell the same repop junk, and people think it's, you know, the same Goodmark, but it's not.
You know,
it hasn't been for years.
But they're not even selling the same stuff. They're selling like the stuff from the 1980s and 1990s stampings.
Yeah.
You know, where everybody else has gone to, you know, more improved, you know, equipment to make their parts off of.
Right. So that's why AMD came about. So Mark, Automotive Direct is his baby. And now he doesn't let anybody else get involved.
It's too bad that they couldn't have gotten the stampings from, I can't remember the name of the company that was doing the ones for the Ford, for the Mustang stuff. You know, they were doing they had the Ford stamps, and they were running mine's gone blank. But that was the whole thing, you know, when NPD, you know, bought all the rest of the metal, because the company that was doing it said, hey, you know, we don't make money running your stamps anymore. You know, we got to run this other stuff because this makes us money. Right. And running the Ford ones doesn't. So they just said, yeah, when this is done, we're done. And I know they sent them back to Ford because Ford owned them still. You know, it's too bad AMD couldn't have gotten those. And there again, the issue is like, okay, you know, people say, oh yeah, I'd rather have the factory one. You know, factory stamping is, even if it's worn out somewhat, it's still going to be better.
Yep.
But people were not willing to pay the higher price when it was available.
Yeah.
You know, so do you think people are going to pay another $200 on top of that?
Well, the reality though is,
unfortunately,
if we're like you or I, you know, where I'm making a video and I say, look, here's the difference. You can spend $100 on this fender and spend 30 hours making it fit the car, or you can spend $300 on this fender and it bolts on.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. If people realize what it really, you know, what you have to do to make it fit.
And it's like, you know, if you're running a shop, you're running an insurance shop, they're like, I don't care if that costs more because, you know, a better fitting part is less labor and it ends up being cheaper.
Yep. Well, you know, it's funny. I have that video out where I did bodywork techniques and tips or whatever, and it's fixing the fender on that little Nissan. And I still get people to comment like, wouldn't it be just cheaper to buy the fender? Well, yes, but did you read the title of the video? It is techniques and tips, how to do body work. Anybody can buy a fender, you know, but I'm trying to show you how you can fix things,
Yeah. Have you ever seen those videos showing the guys in Cuba? And
Oh, where they just like,
they'll take a water tank and they'll beat out
right.
they'll make a door.
Yeah.
The outside and the inside. And
Right.
all the holes are perfect, and it's just the craftsmanship is just beautiful.
Just amazing. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Simone says, Robert, I need to replace 6 panels at the rear of the car.
Well, you're in England, right?
I think so.
If she would let me, all I got to do is go to the airport and get on a plane.
Yeah.
It's
fly over there.
Yeah, it's not hard at all. Because you and I, I don't know how much you get still, but
I can still fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of just list me in a flight, and
I don't know if they'll let me fly overseas though. I don't have the inoculations.
They just changed a whole bunch of stuff over there. So yeah. But anyway, I'll go if I got a place to stay and food and pick me up at the airport, or I'll get in the.
Well, that's what Steve was promised me in Scotland. He was like, "Come on over and help me out with this stuff, and I'll feed you and give you a place to stay." I'm like, "Well, if I can get my wife to go, I'd be it'd be all set."
I haven't been there since 94 or so, something like that.
Yeah, I've never been
when I was there.
Never been to Europe, so anyway, haven't been. I mean, I've been to Panama. That's it. That's only.
Well, you and I got to go to Greece.
I would love to go to Greece.
We'll just we'll leave her here.
I would.
But
I would love to go.
She'd be yelling.
Honey, I'm going for a ride. I'll see you. I'm making a road trip.
I'll be back in a few weeks.
So we have the real Jorge checking in. Awesome. Thumbs up. Thank you, Ricky Lynn. Robert, wild blackberries are the best indeed. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whoops. Hold on a second. Kind of jumped on me there for a second. Dawn. Nothing like Oregon berries, best in the world. He might be biased. I'm just saying. He might be biased. But I'll take your word for it, Dawn. Nandu. Brothers Trucks also has them. Talking about the patch panels for the 56 3100. So that might be another avenue for, I forget who was asking. So
that's not one I'm familiar with. I have to remember that one.
Yeah, Brothers, yeah. John Dude, I'm enjoying homegrown everything, raising 34 types of tomatoes. Just want to find favorites. Okay. I didn't know there were 34 varieties of tomatoes. So
if you're doing tomato sauce, you want the Mars. I want to call them marzipans, but it's a Mars. You'll figure it out. I can't remember, but it's a Marchetto or it's a
Maraschino.
That's close enough. But those make really good tomato sauce.
Okay. Simone says that they still need a few panels yet for the car. So you have to come up with the parts before we can do anything.
Is it small enough that I can order it and then just check it as check luggage?
That would be cool.
Check luggage doesn't cost me anything.
Oh, Charles is saying San Marzano.
That's it.
Is a tomato you're...
Yep. That's it.
There we go. Okay. Welder 4956. Good evening, all. Glad you're here. And it says, looks like you're feeling better, Barry. Yes, I am. I am definitely feeling better. Still have a little bit of cough here and there. Bringing up some stuff and getting rid of it, But my wife is not... She's like... she doesn't have any smell or taste now, so... But nothing I can do about that. Ricky Lynn says, way to go, John Jude, talking about the tomato plants. Jerry, see you all later. Glad you're here, Jerry. And Simone, John, I want to start a potato plot in my garden. There you go. See, we're talking about tomatoes now. Rick Stevenson Brothers Truck Parts only sells Chevy truck parts.
Oh.
Okay, well, that's what he was asking for. The truck he was talking about was a Chevy 3100, I think, or was it a GMC?
Was it a 56?
If it was a 56,
yeah.
And I was thinking it was a Chevy 3100 is what he had asked about. It's hard to tell.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Somewhere it's lost in the comments, but John Jude over 1,000 types of heirloom alone. Okay. All right. I don't know. I would not know how many varieties of tomatoes there are, but I do like tomatoes. Simone says 2 of them are 5 feet long, Robert. So you'd have to
Yeah,
put
that's
it
gonna
into
be.
a ski bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and if they would fit in a ski bag, so
Or just or if it's like a the tail panel piece or something, maybe I could get like a guitar case, big whatever you call those big things that are not guitars, and then
base,
just put it
a
inside of
base,
there. Yeah,
a
base.
base.
I haven't. Not
Yeah.
my thing. Put it in there.
Well, you fold it in half. All right, so we have Gene checking in. Glad you're here, Gene. Hope all is well with you. Haven't seen you in a while. And Ricky Lynn, thank you. Was a great night. Got to go. Have a blessed night all. Thank you for being here, Ricky Lynn. Thank you for being here. So anyway, talk about these different things we can do with the cars and the rotisserie and the trailers. I do like the hub idea though. I know you had I don't know where you got the lawnmower spindles,
Well,
but
I already had one of them because a friend of mine, he brought his mower over and said, "Hey, I this broke and need it fixed." So I ordered a pair of them. Yeah, and I did one, and then I was in the Sears outlet store when they were clearing out of all that stuff, and they had a whole dozens of them. So it was $5.
oh,
So I picked. I was like, I already got one, $5 for another one.
can't beat
There we
that.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's cheap and it works.
Well, like I said, I go to the scrap metal place when I can, and I'm always amazed at the stuff that shows up in there. I mean, and you probably can't see it right now with my screen, but I have a shopping cart over here from Kroger. I kind of mentioned that to you. You were talking about building a welding rig. I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
take the shopping cart. This is one of the stubby shopping carts, right?
I like
So
those.
I was at the scrap metal place, and this guy had like 100 of them, and there's nothing wrong with them. They were all just there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what? Yeah, that's pretty cool. How do you get all these? He said, oh, they just drop them off. And I said, wow, that'd be kind of cool to make a welding cart. And he said, well, take it. He said, just take it. Okay. So I'm in the middle of, using this saw and all this stuff. And back in that corner, I have the metal rack that I had over there in that corner, or in that area. What I'm thinking of doing is taking the lower basket off of this because I need something to catch small metal, right? And I'm going to mount it to my frame so that I have an upper level with straight tubing that I can have, or angle iron, stuff like that. And then the lower level, I can have a basket. So if I want to take, just chunks of stuff, you don't want to throw it on the ground and get it all,
Well, I tell you, the other thing that would be good for is take all the baskets off, or take the two big baskets off, put a plate at the bottom, and there's your torch cart.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You
And
can easily make
it
a
doesn't
torch
fall
cart or
over.
anything. Yeah.
It's not like the normal
Yeah.
torch cart,
Right.
and
So
it rolls better.
So at this point, I wish I would have gotten a couple of those things, honestly, now that I think about it. But I'm going to take that lower basket for sure and make that a catch so that just random, like these pieces of metal that I have over here, this pipe and the square tubing. Granted, am I going to use this anytime soon? No. But that's 1/4 inch wall square tubing.
Yeah.
This is just random exhaust pipe. But still, stuff like
Yeah.
that can get tossed into that little bin.
I've got a cart, right over there that's one of those Rubbermaid. I don't know what you call them, the big Rubbermaid black carts.
Yeah.
The stock carts. I've got one of those, and that's where I put all the bits and pieces at. Because when you're working on stuff, it's like I just need a little piece of, just, go to that,
Yep.
grab it, instead of having to cut something off of something else.
Well, my pile had been in here for 25 years, and it was a whole bunch of there's all kinds of little tiny pieces. I'm like, what am I saving this for? I don't need this much, But that's what I'm going to be working on next is putting that together, and I've made the video for that saw, so I've got to get that edited up and get it up, but it's going to be,
Well, the other thing with those carts is the casters.
yeah,
I mean, just
yeah.
the
I mean,
casters alone.
it's industrial.
Yeah.
I mean, it's designed to last who knows how long.
Yeah, because
So
you look at what good casters cost, they're a fortune.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Charles, picked 15 gallons on my last 15 gallons last of my citrus today, except still have Miwei kumquats. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Rick, we had a shopping cart in our garage for about 30 years from ShopRite. We had no use for it, so we brought it back to the store. It was all rusted. We put it in line with all the others.
They make good wire carts too. If you're pulling wire, yeah, because you got that. You've got a grid,
Right?
so you take your spools of wire and you stick the pipe through and you can
That makes sense.
Hang up several racks in there.
That makes
Use it
sense.
to hold your wire.
That's a great idea.
And then you can run them out the front through the holes in the cart itself, and that way it pulls them all in one little spot. Yeah, they're handy for other stuff.
Well, yeah, they are. And like I said, I wish I would have got a couple of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost hate to cut it up, but I need to have stuff. Do what I want. John Jude, I mounted a 2 by 72 inch belt grinder on a shopping cart and can roll outside when working on wood. Oh, okay.
I like that.
That's a good idea. The only challenge I think is, of course, getting it to stay stationary. Because those casters roll so easily. So
Or if you
almost
got
feel
spot,
like you
you can push it up against the wall or something.
push it up against the wall and block it in somehow or something. So yeah. Dawn, anyone know where to get .230 diameter bearing balls for my steering gear? So 230 thousandths.
Well, I think I still have a link for those, and if I don't have that, I had a link that had several sizes for the steering gear, for the recirculating ball in it. If I can't find that, there's also a place in San Antonio that rebuilds them, and they may sell you the ball bearings.
Okay.
And I've thought about it. It's like if I end up using my steering gear, I may just take it down to them and let them rebuild it because they'll rebuild them.
Right.
And mine is the quick ratio one too. It's a 66, but
yeah,
the steering gear that's in it's from a I hate to call it the 64 and a half, but that's what it is.
Right.
It's one of those oddball early ones. When I looked at the tag on it, it is the tight ratio. So, it's a little more desirable than the slow box.
Yeah.
But I hate to cut the shaft on it to put the power steering in.
Yeah.
If I do the electric steering, I got to cut that shaft, and I don't know. We'll see when I get to that point.
Right.
But yeah, I'll see if I've got that still. If not, I'll send you a link to the other place.
I guess you have Dawn's email?
Yeah.
Okay. I have some pictures that popped up. Somebody had wanted to send me some pictures earlier, and I'm going to try to pull up those real quick. Looks like he's got an engine he's building. So it's got the later model water pump on it. And I think I didn't download all the pictures, but the other one showed a 6-cylinder. So I think the car was a 6-cylinder car. Yeah, that looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
And this was from Mike. So Mike had sent me these pictures. The rest of them are kind of like shows valve covers and oil pan. It's got one in the engine bay, but it looks like it was a 6-cylinder car that he pulled this out of. So I want to thank you, Mike, for sharing those. That's pretty cool. And then
I'm hoping to find a Explorer to buy as a donor. Just buy the whole running vehicle, take the engine, transmission, rear end.
They're out there.
Walk that all over, but they're hard to find. The V8s, I can find 6s all the time, but 8s are harder to find.
And you find one that's in good condition, right? You don't want something that's totally
And
junked out,
that's why
right?
I kind of want to find a running one. That way I can drive it and check it out. And, you know,
Right.
if the body's,
Or
I don't care about the body.
one that's been rolled over, and you're like, well, it must have been running because it was rolled over.
Yeah. And there's one of the yards that I go to every so often. They get a few in from time to time, and they have fair prices. And if they get one in that's running, you can even go in and they'll show you, they'll fire it up for you, and then they'll pull it for you. So it's like,
Oh, okay.
if I don't have to
That's
pull
cool.
it, you know,
That is cool.
because pulling an engine by myself with a junkyard, that's not fun anymore.
No, no. I've got a question. I had another picture sent to me. Okay. So here's the picture. That is one of those fiberglass hardtops
Yeah.
that gives you the kind of the fastback, fastback look to it. And the question is from Gary, and he says, "Where can I get a hardtop like this one in the picture? Thanks." That is a great question.
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Now that the picture says cars from the UK down in the bottom, and it appears that the car itself was a convertible. So it didn't start off as a hardtop because it would have had the windshield. Well, I mean, it could have been, I guess.
Yeah.
But it looks like it was. If this is the same car in both pictures, obviously there's a convertible style top on it. I don't know if anybody knows where to get one of those.
I haven't I've seen pictures, but I have no idea who made them. I'm
Yeah.
foggiest clue. Be nice if they're not being made. It'd be nice if somebody would let theirs be borrowed to make a new plug off
A die,
of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Copy of it. Yeah. That's a great idea.
I mean, if I had a convertible, I'd want one of those too, 'cause that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives you the look of the fastback.
Well, and then if you want to drive in the wintertime and have a better roof,
Yeah,
you've got
lock
a
it down.
solid roof. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, so Greg's Workshop says, got to go. See y'all later. Glad you're here, Greg. Dawn says, thanks, Robert. So you two can
No
communicate. Charles Buzzy says, Motion Industries for ball bearings. So
Yep.
there's a good answer. Rick says, look for a Mercury Mountaineer as a donor. They all came with a V8.
Yeah. I've been looking at those too. Yep. I just keep looking from time to time locally. Just something will pop up eventually.
Yeah, it will. Ray says, do you recommend lizard skid or padded insulation?
For
Okay.
for the bottom of the car.
Well, I'm not sure if you would put padded insulation on the bottom of the car,
Well,
but
what I will say what I'm going to do. I'll epoxy prime it, paint it, and then I'm going to use on the bottom of the car is just going to be bed liner.
yeah,
It's
that
I'm going to
works.
use a bed liner on the bottom of the car instead of the was a 3M body shut stuff. The tar stinky stays wet all the time. And I'll do the wheel wells with it too. Now inside, I'm doing the same thing that Barry did with the roller stuff that you roll out with a little roller. I may put a thin layer of foam, and then the carpet I'm getting has vinyl on it, has the mass dampened vinyl already
Right.
attached to it. So you get all those different layers in there will stop a whole lot of sound. The tar stuff alone with the foil on it, that will stop some, but the foam and then the vinyl will actually absorb anything. The other ones are just deadeners.
Right.
But that's what I plan on doing. I've heard good and bad about lizard skin, and I'm cost versus benefit, and
Right.
I'm bed liner. I know when I put it on there, it's going to stay, and
Yeah,
it does dampen some noise as well. And then to put on the wheel wells and pretty thick in the wheel wells. So
Right.
that's just what I'm gonna do.
Well, I know that I know we sprayed some lizard skin on a car at the body shop one time. Sprayed it on, did follow the directions, did everything it said to do, and some of it came right back off.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I can recommend it completely or not, I don't know. I like the bed liner idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now the padded insulation, again, I'm not going to consider that it would be on the outside of the car. I'm thinking
No, it's all
inside,
inside.
underneath.
Yeah.
Now, what I have used is the kill mat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talked about that. I put kill mat in the '68 Mustang, did a great job,
Be right back.
and it stuck to the interior of the body panels, all that. Really did a good job of killing down the sound. And then also the carpet that I put in had the padded stuff on the backside, the jute, whatever, on the backside of the carpet. So, lizard skin, I can't say yes, use it. I can't because I don't know. The bed liner stuff, I know I've used that on my dune buggy. I brushed it on the inside of the panel mainly because I wanted to seal it up, and also I added texture to it. So when I was getting in and out of my dune buggy, I could step on, I threw sand in it, and so I could have something, so I wouldn't slip into the car. So those are some options that you could look into as well.
All right, this is the same thing as the kill mat.
Yep.
And this is what I use inside. It's the same thing. It just doesn't have any printing on it.
Right.
It used to be a good bit cheaper. Now it's only about $5 cheaper a box.
Right.
Now for the padded. Now this stuff here is not open yet.
Oh,
it is now.
It is now. So I don't know if that's what he's referring to.
It was on sale on Amazon.
Okay.
But this is what I'll use over top of it is probably something like this, and this is a foam.
Oh, really?
It is a foam. It's I want to say it's probably considered like 2 millimeter, maybe 3. There's a couple different thicknesses, and essentially, I actually bought that for the firewall. But I'll do the regular mat. I'll do a layer of the foam of some sort, and then like I said, the carpet. If you buy it from, again, can't remember the name of it, but it's easy to find online. That's all they do is carpet, but they sell the carpet with not just the jute padding, but with the heavy vinyl like you get on a like they used to use in the 80s and 90s on cars. When the carpet weighed 200 pounds.
Right.
They put that kind of stuff on the carpet. It makes it heavy, but it does really good for sound deadening, and it makes a nice solid carpet too. So you get when you get all the variations of different stuff in there, this dampens that, this does that, this absorbs that. You can block out a lot of noise with it that way. Is it overkill? Yeah, probably, but I like a quiet car.
Well, yeah. I know that what I've noticed with the 68, and Roger's ridden with me in the car, I mean, when you shut the door, it sounds solid. It sounds really, it's not, you're not hearing road noise.
Mm-hmm.
I did put, the kill mat in, and I doubled it up on the firewall all the way down, just to help reduce heat. But I have not seen the foam stuff. And then as far as the carpet I put in my car was really cheap. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it was not a better grade of carpet. So it felt really thin overall, and even with the jute on the back, they didn't have it glued in the right spots. So it was kind of just not very excited about it.
Yeah, and now this is another product that got a really good deal on. This stuff, I don't know if I'm going to have room for it in the car, but this is 2 different kinds of foam, and this right here is actually a vinyl layer in there.
Okay.
So that's that mass dampening vinyl in there.
Wow.
And
okay.
This is made, essentially, it's white here, and it peels off on the back to stick. This is for boats. This is what you use to cover a boat engine, diesel
right.
diesel boat engine.
Yeah.
This stuff works extremely well. It's heavy. It is quite heavy, but it works really well. And if I can, I'd like to be able to cover the firewall with it. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, because there's so much stuff up there. That stuff is so thick. I don't think it's going to be
You're going to have a hard time doing that.
And if I piecemeal it, you're not going to get the benefit.
No, I would use that other stuff.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
firewall.
It's just that was some stuff that's just like it was too good a deal to pass up, and I will use it. I've got some things I want to use it for, and actually I'll probably end up using it in the house around the air conditioner
Okay.
for some of the noise from it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. Let's see who we have here. Dawn's Manufacturing says, thanks, Charles, for the bearing update. And Terry says, what engine are you looking for, Robert?
probably just a one of the fuel injected 302s. Yeah, nothing special.
Nothing
Yeah,
special.
I'd love to do something fancier.
You
but
need the Ecotech. You need to get one of those Ecotech engines with the turbo.
yeah, well, my cousin doesn't work at Ford anymore.
Yeah, well,
He's off in the upper part of Michigan now, and playing in the snow with that kind of stuff now.
oh, okay.
So yeah, my Ford connection is gone.
So Simone says, in my car, I put in the sound deadening. I put in carpet underlay due to it being a base model and having rare rubber matting instead of carpet all over. Oh, okay. Interesting. Harvey, I use truck bed liner on the underside of Tina and very happy with it. Don't like the sticky tar undercoating. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. Welder, I've been looking at Raptor spray on bed liner for the underside of my Fairlane project. Anyone have any experience with it?
That's the U-Pole stuff. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we can say. It's good stuff. I have
Yeah.
not applied it, but I've heard really good things about it.
I've seen a number of the Jeep guys that have used it on the outside of their Jeep, cover the whole outside of the Jeep, and
Hey,
it holds up fine for that. So I was like, hey,
maybe that's what I need to do for my next whatever Mustang I build. Just spray the outside with a Raptor liner and just I'm done. I'm not doing.
Okay, so you're going to do the Jeremy Clarkson thing, and then put some big bumpers on the front and put big tires,
I could.
like you did in the Top Gear guys.
I could. I mean, I've got the red 68 that could easily become a four-wheel drive. Easily become a four-wheel drive. Don't push me. I could do it and not even feel bad about it. Doyle, you could use the thick foam for the under the package tray or behind a rear seat. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good place for it. That definitely is a good place.
Yep. Now, Lauren says he sent me a couple of pics in your email, but I don't see those. So I don't know if you sent them to the right email, because I've had people try to send me before, and they forget that you don't need an apostrophe S. It's just Joe Daddy's Garage, just like it's spelled here with no apostrophe, at gmail.com. So I don't see it just yet. Let me post that one more time on the bottom, Joe Daddy's Garage at gmail.com. Because I'm not getting any notification of a new email. So we'll leave that go for just a second. Lauren says, got my 302 out of a 1990 Ford station wagon.
I had an 89 Granada wagon. That thing was a big, heavy car, but was it the best freeway car ever. And you could put a 4x8 sheet of plywood in the back of it.
Yeah.
You put the seats down, you slide a 4x8 sheet in there. I love the tailgate. The dual action tailgate. That was a nice car to drive. That really was.
Welder 49. Thanks, guys. I'm going to give it a try. Okay, I think he's talking about the Raptor. Cool. And Lawrence, okay, send a couple of pics. Again, I'll have to. I don't see them unless they were the engine pics you sent me. So I don't know. But it says, I think that one said, the other engine pic said Gary. No, it said Mike. So I don't know. Sorry. Rick Gain, 4-wheel drive 68 Mustang with a snow plow. No, there's no snow in Georgia, so I don't need a plow. But, what was it, on Gas Monkey or something? They have actually, there was a purpose-built 68 convertible GT or something. Shelby. You ever see that car?
No, I have not seen it.
It was like built on purpose. It was a green, I think it was green, 4-wheel drive, had a roll bar in it. It was a convertible Shelby 4-wheel drive Mustang. And it actually looked decent. I mean, it really did. Yeah. Now, what would be fun is to pick something up that's got all-wheel drive, an all-wheel drive chassis, not four-wheel drive, like a sports car.
That's where, I always thought at one time it'd be kind of neat to take like the El Camino, right, from the '80s El Caminos, because the S10s were based essentially on that. They just made them narrower. Well, the Astros had all-wheel drive.
That's true.
So if you could just figure out a way to, make that front end a little wider, throw that up there, and you could make a four-wheel drive one out of it. Just get I'd say you'd have probably take the whole frame, because you're going to need the clearance and things like that, and then just, scab that onto the front of the existing frame and figure out a way to widen it out, and you make an all-wheel drive El Camino or any other G-body or Monte Carlo or Grand National.
Oh, there you go.
All-wheel drive Grand National. That would be cool.
My son he sent me pictures several times of, what is it, the Hoonigan or whatever, the guy who has a '65 Mustang that's really just, it's an all-wheel drive beast with 65 sheet metal stuck to it. I mean, it's amazing. He's out there drifting and going through buildings, and has like 800 horsepower and some ridiculous stuff he does with those cars. But yeah, that would be kind of cool. Terry says, "Too bad you don't live close to Robert. I have an '88 5.0 with AOD trans, would sell for $250."
Now, what part of the world is he in?
Yeah, where are you at, Terry? Robert could probably make a road trip. He's got a trailer. I think he would probably,
as long as it's not through berries up to Charlotte in February.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that again.
You may want to do it. You may want to do it. MGCJ@gmail is mine. Maybe it came under that. No, it's let me look again, because I'm not getting.
It might be putting it in your spam folder or something.
No, I don't. I usually don't get.
Okay.
It doesn't show spam. I don't get. It just shows. Hardly anything goes into a spam type folder on mine. So I don't know. The only one I have is those engine pictures from. It says Gary. So. So I don't know, Lawrence. Simone, this might be an odd question. Can I ask the opinion of on the so-called electric Mustang? They're being sold here now. I'm not convinced. Opinion, it's not a Mustang. Yeah. My opinion, it's not a Mustang. They just stuck the taillights and the headlights on and said it's a Mustang, but it's not. To me, it's an embarrassment to the name. It should never have been called a Mustang. Obviously, Ford marketing is like, hey, we can sell a ton of these if we call it a Mustang. Yay! Yep. But I think the real enthusiasts that follow Mustangs are all like, no.
I think it's a good car for an electric car. I mean, ignore the fact that they misnamed it.
Yeah.
I think for an electric car, I think it's a good car. It does have some issues from what I've seen, and some things in the future you worry about is the amount of hoses it has up front, because it's got a rat's nest of hoses and T's and 90s and clamps, and because of all the cooling stuff for all the batteries and stuff. But for what I've seen, it looks like a decent electric car. I just don't think the name is good, and I don't think it's a very pretty car either.
Oh, it's not. It's not a good-looking vehicle by any means. No. And Simone says, my thoughts exactly. Yeah, it should never been called a Mustang.
I just will say, I am glad that GM has not named anything the Chevelle. I'm glad they have not tarnished that name yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Maybe they'll come back with a citation.
That's fine.
Or the Chevette.
Yeah. Or the Cadillac Cimarron. Ooh. That was a wonderful car.
Let's see. Roger says there's a guy on Instagram with an all-wheel drive Cutlass that looks like an '83 Hurst Olds. I think it used Trailblazer SS internals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to get it. Those things are pretty impressive from what I understand, the Trailblazer SS. So I know people that have taken those and put a '72 Chevy cab on that
Hmm.
and turn it into,
I, I
an all-wheel drive
I
beast.
know a guy that's got one out in Little Rock. Haven't talked to him in years, and he loves his. Last
Yeah.
time we talked to him, he loved it.
I saw a picture of a wrecked vehicle the other day. It was painful. It was
Mhm.
painful. It was a Typhoon,
Oh,
a mint condition Typhoon
oh,
that had been hit, and it was in bad shape.
those cyclones and typhoons, those were fast.
Yeah.
They were impressive.
Well, I mean, it's everybody talks about the Grand National, all that stuff, and they forget about those vehicles that were
Yeah,
purpose built. The Cyclone,
that was
and
that was Gail Banks doing that for him too.
yeah.
Because Gail Banks did a lot of the engineering for them to get it to
So,
where it was.
when was the last time you ever even seen one of those, other than maybe a car show, big time?
It's been
Um,
years since I've seen one. And
but
I
they,
mean,
they
even
were,
at a car show, I haven't seen one here anyway.
yeah,
I will say the rarest truck that I know of that actually a friend of the guy over here on the corner is he found one right here in town somewhere is an 80 don't whatever it is, it's an S10. I don't remember which year it is, maybe 90 something. They made it for about 2 years, and this truck gets forgotten about when they talk about electric vehicles because Chevy sold an electric S10.
really,
There's about 2 years they sold an electric S10.
I did
And
not
there's
know
a
that.
guy here in town that has one that his buddy was, he said, yeah, he said, I'll sell it to you. It's got, but you got issues.
Yeah,
And I was like, maybe I need to see if I can get in touch with him. And that would be a neat project too. And
that,
the company that makes the motors is still around because they make them for other equipment because it was just in a heavy equipment electric motor they put in it, like a
yeah,
forklift kind of motor or something.
yeah,
So the stuff is still around. It's like that would be kind of cool to bring back and put modern batteries in and stuff like that.
that would be interesting. Terry says he's in West Central Illinois.
That's actually not that far,
Yeah,
you know.
so you might be able to make a road
You
trip.
never
Meet
know.
meet
It's a possibility.
meet up. I mean, the price sounds good. Price sounds real good. Let me get back up here. Ryan, I love chickens. Okay.
Hmm.
And also, he asked, "What's your favorite tool in the garage and why?" Well, I've said it before. Plasma cutter. I love my plasma cutter.
Yep.
It is, yeah,
And I went for years without having one in here. And it's just like since finally bought that one. It's like it's been years since I've used one. And
yeah,
then once I got it, it's just like, why did I wait so long to get one here?
yeah.
I mean, it's
Wait
just
a
a little
minute.
$200 special, and it works great.
Um. Okay. So I got some more pictures. Well, I have pictures from. It says I sent once more. Maybe I'm sending too many pics. Well, the pictures I'm getting currently are from Mike. So if that's you, then I've already shown a couple of pictures there are pictures of engines. So I have pictures of looks like a 302, and there's a picture with a 6-cylinder on the bottom. So that's the only ones that I'm getting right now. So it says Mike. So if you're Mike, I know it says Lawrence, but I don't know. Let's see. Welder, raining at your place, Barry? I think I hear rain. Yes, it is pouring rain right now. So yeah, you can hear it.
I've still got the garage door open over here.
Yeah.
It was 84, 85 degrees today. It's going to be 65, or it's going to be thunderstorms tonight, 65 tomorrow. Wednesday, the high is going to be freezing, and we're supposed to have ice.
Well, yeah, we're supposed to have. I mean, not tomorrow or next couple of days, but next week it's supposed to get like
Yeah,
28 degrees or something.
but to go from 85 to a high of freezing and ice in 2 days. But, it's Texas. It's normal.
Won't last that long. Charles, love the chat, but I have to call it. Everyone be safe. Okay, glad you're here, Charles. And Lauren says that's it. Okay, so I did show those pictures earlier. Yeah, we looked at those earlier. But those, all I got was engine pics and one of an engine bay. I didn't get any of a car itself. like a full picture of a car. So I don't know if you were trying to send that or not. So, Simone, thanks for that. Thanks for that, guys. I need to get sleep. Not everyone. Glad you're here, Simone.
Yep.
And Ryan, do you oh, wait a minute. We had Ryan said, how much did you, okay. How much did you buy yours for and why? The first plasma cutter that I bought was from Harbor Freight. Price, I don't know. Like $300-400. I really don't remember. It was several years ago. The first car I used it on was the light blue Mustang that I did, cutting up pieces out of that car. And then I've used it many times afterwards. Now, since that time, I've had Yes Welder contact me, and they have now sent me actually a welder, they sent me a plasma cutter, they sent me another MP200 5-function welder, TIG, stick welder, plasma cutter, booyah thing. So I've used the Yes Welder plasma cutter and had good luck with it as well. Speaking of which, I had another notification from Yes Welder that they said, "Hey, we have a new machine coming out. Do you want one?" I'm like, I don't know. Now the next one they have out is a 7 function, but it has a built-in air compressor for the plasma cutter. Now you and I talked about that, Robert.
Yeah.
This isn't something you'd be doing industrial work with. It would be like, hey, I need a hole. I'm done, kind of thing. Not something you're going to be cutting a building in half with. So
but it's a perfect hobbyist type machine to have all that stuff in one.
Oh yeah, I agree.
My only thing is, it's just I always worry about, well, but if something goes wrong with this, you're out everything. That's my
true.
only thing. Is just,
that is true.
So that's my part of against a multi machine. Now we'll say, okay, this is 1/4 inch.
Yep.
Just 1/4 inch. And my little cheapie, and it's a 110/220, and I'm cutting through 1/4 inch on 110 volts.
Yeah.
And it's on 110 volts. I wasn't plugged into 220, and I'm still cutting 1/4 inch with it. And it was it wasn't $200. It was whatever it was. And I figured, well, okay, this is a no name, one on Amazon, right?
Right.
Like, I'm paying for the warranty. So at least I've got, either I have a functioning plasma cutter for I know 4 years, or if it dies, they fix it, or they give me a refund.
Right.
So, the extra 20 something, $30 was worth it as far as I'm concerned. I don't normally do warranties, but on something like that, yeah, it was well worth it. And I do like this one. The leads are like 16 feet long.
Yeah.
Torque lead. It's really long. Torque lead, surprisingly.
Let's see. Ryan asked, do you reuse sand from your blaster? I try to.
I use crushed glass. Actually got a bunch of bags of it right there. And I use the square cat litter buckets, and I have a little sifter thing I stick. Actually, here, let me go get it. You say
okay?
Something.
All right. So Harvey is saying best tool, if you can only have one, is the torch. You can cut, weld, heat rusted bolts, and bend thick metal using heat. Can't argue that, Harvey. That's a good call. Yep. Can't argue that at all.
So I've just got this little thing here that I made up 20-something years ago. And it's got one of those old, hand massage tool things on it.
Yeah, like a yeah.
Yeah, I bought that at an estate sale. It was brand new in the box. So it was okay. But all I do is, and it's...
Hand massager. Tell us about your hand massager, Robert.
But it's just, I've got a couple layers of screen on the bottom of it, and it's got those little notches. So it just sits in the top of one of those square cat litter buckets. You turn the little thing on it, and it kind of just, vibrates
shakes
around
it.
there. You
it
pour
shakes
it in
it down,
there,
yeah.
and it catches the big stuff. And
that's a great idea.
I reuse mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it like I said, this thing, it's old. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's at least 20 years old.
Yeah, that's
And
a
it
good
just,
idea.
yeah,
It kind of makes you think of like an ultrasonic, where you have ultrasonic cleaner.
hmm
Only you're doing it with dry stuff
yeah,
to shake down things, and I get that. That's a cool
yeah.
idea. Welder 4956. I have a friend that retired as a local Miller district manager. He says to avoid the plasma cutters with internal compressors, they tend to fail too soon. That's what I'm saying. The setup they have or they offer, like I said, it's not meant to do anything other than, oh gosh, I need to make a hole and I don't have the right tool, so cut a
And
little hole and you're done.
and for auto body work, you're not using it much, so
It
yeah, I
might
don't.
work for
It
doing
would be
that.
fine
Yeah,
for most auto body work.
yeah,
But
it might
yeah,
work
it's
for
probably
that.
a little oilless compressor, and you well know how oilless compressors are. You're
Yeah.
asking a lot out of it. That's a lot of air it really takes to run. That's a lot of air you're moving. So
Well, I'd looked
asking a
at
lot out
the.
of a little compressor.
Um, okay, here we go.
Got him?
I got the other pictures that he had sent, or other picture I should say. So let's pull that up and get that opened up. And his comment is, "This is it. Hope to be driving it by May." And it looks like it's almost ready to drive now.
Mm-hmm.
Decent looking car. Decent looking car. Oh, I want to relate this. I have to relate this story. Okay. Now I know that several people they ask for junkyard stories, right? So I'm gonna do a junkyard story that is related to something that happened yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Now, what happened yesterday? And Roger, who lives next door, was leaving at the same time. I was out here in the garage doing something, and I heard this whoom, like that didn't sound right. Okay. That same sound, I remembered something similar when we had the junkyard. And what it was at that time was my brother was cutting the front frame rails off of a station wagon. I think it was a Ford. And so he was cutting the torch, had it out. I was, at that time, he was probably like 17, 16, 17. I was 10 or 11. I don't know. And I wasn't too far away. And he was cutting this frame rails off the front. No front fenders on it. And I heard a whoom. He looked at me and he said, "Run." That's all he said was run. Well, he ran over and turned off the valves to the torch setup and took off running. Well, the gas tank exploded. Basically, the fuel was coming. He had cut to the fuel line, and the fire went to the gas
Mm-hmm.
tank, and it whoom, and then it blew up. So that was the junkyard story. Now that ended up causing a lot of problems. He burnt several vehicles. It was not a good day.
Mm.
But when I was in here yesterday, I heard that boom, right? Okay, it's not me. I'm looking around. I go outside and I'm looking around and I don't see much going on. Well, there's a neighbor 2 houses over, so on the other side of Roger's house. Roger was leaving. He had just gotten in his truck and was driving. Maybe he didn't hear it. I don't know. So I look off and I see past his house. I see the neighbor walking around his yard, and he looks like he's a little panicked. And I look and I see smoke going up. And I was like, I start walking in that direction thinking, okay, what's going on? He sees me walking, and I said, "Was that you?" And he said, "What?" I said, "That whoomp sound." "Yeah, that was me." I'm like, okay. And then I hear him say, "Oh, no." And I said, "Do you need some help?" "Yeah." I go running over there. Well, I had to get through his fence, which wasn't too hard. But what happened was In his backyard, there's a swimming pool. Not a very big swimming pool. It's kind of a long, narrow pool. And 20 feet to the left of it, he had a burn barrel. And he decided he was going to burn some leaves and sticks and whatever. So he may not be as efficient with some of the things that maybe some of us are. I saw a red gas can. Apparently he had poured, I don't know how much gas into this barrel and then threw something in it. And it went,
Mm-hmm.
well, there was a fire near the gas can or near the barrel. And he apparently had been spraying it with a hose, you know. When I saw the smoke, it was from the fire on the other side of the pool. It had launched stuff probably 30 feet across to the pool, and his yard was on fire. And so I go running over there, and I'm like, I don't see anything really. I see a spade shovel, so I get over on the embankment. I'm like patting down and putting the fires out. He's trying to spray the hose, which is about 20 feet too short to do anything, and he's freaking out. And I said, "Do you have a bucket?" Yeah. He goes in the house, he gets his bucket, and he's filling it up in the house, right? Like trying to fill the thing up. He comes running out, and I'm out there, trying to get all the little fires out. So he comes running back out, and he throws just kind of randomly throws the bucket at it. And I said, "Dip into the pool to get your water."
Yeah.
And he's like, ugh. I said, slow down, aim it, take your time. We're okay, you know. But it burned up probably 30 feet by 8 feet, and it was heading to the trees, heading to the neighbor's house. I mean, we got it out. But that's my relatable junkyard story time. And he was pretty thankful that I was paying attention and actually came over there, because he would have been in trouble. Because he said, "I'm glad you showed up because I was panicking."
Mm-hmm.
You know. And I said, "Okay."
Yeah,
It's all good.
I tell you, we've had a lot of fires here because it is just bone dry here. Yeah, I've been soaking the bushes just to keep them alive, and it was enough to the point where they had the MD-80 and another plane out there putting out fires out to our west. Yeah, it is so dry here. It's not even funny, because normally we get our moisture in the wintertime. I ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so dry.
Ryan says, "Can I have a Joe Daddy's Garage cap in blue?" Send me an email, and I'm taking donations to get a hat. So if you send me an email to this email at the bottom of the screen, we can communicate on that. JoeDaddy'sGarage@gmail.com. So, sorry, I pulled that back down. Now, let's see. Ryan is also asking, "Is there any Mustangs in junkyards near you?" No. Nothing old. Nothing old. Welder says, "Lawrence, the 66 looks to be in very good condition. Nice car." Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. It does. It does look like a pretty nice car. And I'm assuming it was a 6-cylinder car, because he showed pictures where there was a 6-cylinder that he had taken out of it, or I'm assuming. Lawrence drove the heck out of it last summer until the wiring harness caught on fire. That's when I decided to pull it into the shop and start putting the 302 and stuff in it. Okay. Yeah, fire's not good. Rick, I like Junkyard Story Time. I'm glad nobody got hurt. Yeah, it was exciting back then, and it was exciting yesterday too. Roger, I heard it just as I got to the truck. I thought it was something he threw in the burn barrel. I missed all the rest. Yeah. Roger's leaving. I'm like, you shouldn't leave yet. Things are not good. Ryan, tell us the story of the 10th Mountain Division flag behind you. Okay, well, that was my unit that I served in, 85 to 88. I was in 10th Mountain Division when they activated, and I was a mortar gunner, so 11 Charlie. That's why I can't hear anything. But I did all the fun stuff, jumped out of airplanes, helicopters, trained in the desert and jungles and all that fun stuff that everybody does when they're like 19 and dumb. But yeah, had a good time. I loved it. And if I had a chance, I would do it all over again. I would. Welder, kudos Barry for helping the neighbor. Yeah. I mean, it's that's what you do. But when I hear something like that, I know something's not right. Something is not right when you hear that sound. Yeah, Lawrence says, it had a 6-cylinder in it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I figured as much. But still, that's I'm hoping, Lawrence, that you're swapping over, the suspension, all that stuff to make it a 5-lug.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're doing all. Oh, do you want to see that again, Robert? Sorry.
No, I was just looking.
I hope you're doing a full swap on it to make it, structurally solid as well. Because I know that from what I understand, the 6-cylinder spindles are not.
Well, I don't think the V8 ones are even that strong.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think the 6 are lighter than the V8s.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've got this little guy here, and it's just like when you look at cars from the 70s and 80s, and it's just like this is tiny.
Yeah.
This is puny compared to what it was a few years later. But the cars got heavier too.
That's true. Yeah, the Mustangs were not heavy.
No, they're what, under 2,000 pounds, all said and done, something like that, like 1,900 pounds.
A Mustang?
Yeah, wasn't it? Go close the door. I got a storm coming.
I think it's more than that.
Or I can't remember anymore.
Let's see. Ryan, all in all, how much did it cost you over the years to fix your Mustang Jade? I have no idea. I really don't know what it cost to build Jade. I mean, I have receipts from all the parts that I bought over the years, but I think I did some math on it, not counting my labor, personal labor. I think I'm under 12,000 on it overall, with all the parts, everything. I think.
I started tracking parts at one time, how much I spent on this and how much I spent on that, and then yeah.
You don't really want to do that. You don't want to do that. In fact, the Model A that I did, my grandfather's Model A, I have all the receipts from that. All the receipts from that car. And I know it's over $10,000 that I spent on that car. Just in parts. So, but that's okay.
And that's why people always say, well, why'd you hurry up and get it done? And it's like, this is not one of these, YouTube channels where you just like, oh yeah, here, this is what I did. It's all great and it's done. No, it's not that easy. It's not that quick. It's not that cheap.
No, no, it is not.
All these little things, $100 for, a gallon of paint just for, the underside and the,
sure.
And that's not even outside paint. That's just other stuff paint. And all those little things add up really quick.
Yeah. Yeah, Lawrence says an auto spell can get you in trouble sometimes. Yes, it can. Terry, a good friend of mine, is getting rid of a 67 or 68 coupe, said I could have engine, then scrap the rest. Wait a minute. We need to talk.
Yeah.
We need to talk.
It would have to be really bad to be able to have to scrap.
All I need to know is, are the door hinges good? Because that's all I need is a set of door hinges. And, maybe some numbers. So maybe we can talk about that, Terry, before you get rid of it. Because there's, depending on what's on that car, I'm interested in parts on that car. Just so you know. So we can probably communicate. Welder, my 19 and dumb years were spent on the island of Guam welding on submarines. Yep. Well, thank you for your service, Welder 4956. Dawn, Betsy weighs 2,930 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm missing one. But,
Yes.
when I get it all, but mine's going to be a lot heavier because of all the added, sound deadening and all that stuff. It's going to be quite a bit heavier. But
well,
when I get it done, I want to see what it weighs.
You added convertible frame rails, too.
Yeah, I've got the convertible frame rails and
Right. Torque boxes.
Other stuff. Yeah. And those frame rails are, like 30, 40 pounds a piece, just for those because they're huge. I mean, they're big old boxes.
Ryan, where were you deployed and how old were you? Those stories are the best. I was not deployed, thankfully. I went in at 18 years old, put in my 3 years, got out, went to school for aircraft maintenance, and then had a career with Delta Airlines for 29 years. So that's that as far as that goes. Thankfully, I didn't get deployed. Rick, according to the Amazon Alexa, a 65 Mustang with 289 was 2,900 pounds. Yep.
Yeah.
Makes me think, whenever I was racing, me and Roger were racing stock cars, I think the weight limit on the stock car was 3,000 pounds. I think it was 3,000 pounds. Because I remember we had to have it written on the car.
You were doing the Malibu one time, weren't you?
Yeah, the 65 Malibu, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, I go to, yeah. It's like, even my 84 El Camino, that thing is like 30, right around 3,900 pounds. It's heavy. It's heavy. But then again, that's what time does. Oh, we want this option. We want
power
that
seats,
option. We need this safety.
Power windows, air conditioning, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
You want it quiet. We got to put all this heavy sound deadening in it. When you look at the weight of new cars are heavy.
Yeah.
And electric cars are, twice what a regular car is.
Yeah, people don't realize that.
And they're doing all that damage to the roads, but they're not paying road taxes.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Terry says he will give me the car. Okay, well, we'll talk, Terry.
Yeah.
We need to talk before it gets scrapped out. We need to talk.
I would love a 67 convertible.
Yeah.
That would be a nice project, but this thing's got to get done before she'll let anything
else.
Yeah.
Lawrence says, why don't you buy new door hinges? Don't like them. Well, the joke is the 65 or 66 convertible car that I built, basically all I had was a set of door hinges to work with. But I do prefer the original door hinges over any aftermarket stuff. Just so you know, I've had issues making aftermarket hinges fit the car and the door. So you end up having to modify the holes. I would much rather rebuild a set of door hinges and keep the original pieces.
Well, that and the 67 is a one-off year.
Yeah, 67 has weird door hinges. Yeah.
Now the question is, will the 68s work?
I would think they would, honestly.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
But the purist is going to say, well, it's got to have the 67, blah, 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 whatever. Just because it was built in 67 doesn't mean it was a good design. Obviously they went away from it in 68. Like, this was dumb. Let's revise this,
Well, it's, mine is going to, it's going to have a 65 grill.
Yeah.
I like the 65 grill better. It's probably going to have the 65 dash pad because it doesn't come down as far around the radio because I want to put something with a big screen there.
Yeah.
And that gives me a little more room. And it'll be a mishmash of, I put on there what I like. I like this. I like that. That's what I got a couple years parts to pick through, and you make, it's your car. It's your car. Do what you want.
Yep.
But she wants the little fog lights, so we'll see.
Yeah. Lawrence, that's good to know. I guess I'll be rooting my door hinges on my 66. I was thinking about buying a new door hinges, though. Yeah, don't do it. Yeah. I've got videos on how to do it. It's not that hard. Just repurpose what you have, rebuild what you have, because the new ones, well, the old ones are cast iron. The old stuff is, it's heavy duty, and the new ones, I think it's just steel.
Well, there's two versions of them too. There's two different. Okay. It's just like the hood hinges. There's two different versions of it.
Yeah.
And the big problem I found on the reproduction hinges, the little the little door catch thing.
Yeah.
The
stopper
pin thing. Yeah. That there, they cram the pin in that holds it so tight that it doesn't let the roller move, doesn't let the hinge move. So if you've got one of those, the first thing you need to do is take a hammer and a screwdriver and knock it apart so that stuff will roll. Once those roll, they work okay.
Yeah.
It's just they don't care. They just press them together and call it done.
Yep.
But mine were so worn, the pins were worn into the cast iron.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because somebody had kept adjusting them and kept turning it, and yeah. It's been an interesting car.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know that I've rebuilt the hinges on the 66. Actually, I did a set for somebody. They sent me some hinges, and I rebuilt their hinges for them.
Oh, I
Sent
remember
them
that.
back.
Yeah,
I think they were 67s. I think.
yeah, I think they were. 'Cause you did a video on that too.
Yeah, yeah. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, we have Donald checking in from Jeanette, Pennsylvania. Glad you're here. We're getting towards the end of our episode.
Yeah, and I got a big blob of red and purple, really close of rain coming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna call it a night. It's been 2 hours. It's been great. I'm glad you're here, Robert. It was nice to be here and chat and talk and share
Somebody else needs to get
information.
on
So,
here.
well, at some point,
You know,
maybe somebody else will
Yeah.
join us.
Yep.
I can have up to. Let me see what it shows. Oh, it can do different layouts. I can have.
That's
I can
cool.
make you small. I don't know what that does.
Oh, I'll give you one parting clip.
Okay. The free spin. You have to have like the Wheel of Fortune song going or something.
No, with my luck, it'd be on live video, we just go right to the
Yeah.
ground.
That's awesome. It really
It's
is.
just effortless. It's really is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna.
See you later.
Okay. Glad you were here, Robert. We'll catch up again.
All right.
See ya. Okay. So we had Robert on there showing us his rotisserie. This has been a good night. It's nice to have a conversation where I can talk with somebody rather than everybody just listening to me yammer on about stuff, and share information and cross over and all that sort of thing. So thanks again, Robert, for being here. And we're gonna be back on Thursday at 3 p.m. and we'll see what I can get done between now and then. But thanks for being here, and until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.